Greetings, long dark survivor. We're exploring the cave system between Blackrock and Mountain, Timberwolf Mountain region. We're not gonna make a fire because we've got a torch. So the reason I like to use a torch in the cave systems is because it's a lot more sustainable than using the storm lantern, because like sticks are very cheap, and as soon as you got the fire, obviously it would be nice to have a magnifying glass fire, which then everything is free. And in the long game, you always want to keep an eye on things that are not renewable, like your matches. Okay, so this is how I block off the dead ends. You just put a little fireplace in a dead end, so that when you come through here again, you don't go through all the little places. Okay, so you hear the water, right? Yeah, okay, so now we've got water on our feet. It's important to go through this system here, cave system, without any footwear, no boots, no socks, because they're going to get drenched, and then you're going to have an issue. You do get cold with having bare feet, but it's easily fixed just by making a little fire with this. And we're going to make lots of fires anyway. I think that was another one. Okay, so I've blocked off areas here where there's triggers. You can't really see these water triggers though. I've blocked off most of them. See, so we barefoot here. At the end of this video, I'll show you what happens when we've got footwear on and we hit these water patches. So you can hear the water, but you can't see the water anyway, because they're like random. Over there, there's sometimes water, sometimes not. I've marked that as a dangerous area. So some of this, most of this is just dodgy. Okay, inside there is also a good chance of getting water triggers. Important thing to find here is that kit bag there. Can't remember if it had anything epic in it. It's not important. It's just nice to find, right? Okay, so we're not going to go around that way. We're going to go this way. I've marked in some areas. I've marked the route with fireplaces, so that there's a pretty straight kind of a straight route. This is the shortcut. So this is just an example of how you use your torch to have the sustainable torch fire throughout the cave. You just make lots of fires like this. You just make a fire. Make sure you got plenty of sticks. Okay, put in a dud torch. Put in some more fuel. And get another torch. Okay, that's a bit of a not a good torch. It's a bit of a small torch. I think we've got about 20% on that. It's not fantastic. Sometimes you can get like a 40% torch, which is nice, and then doesn't cost. There's no cloth or lamp oil or anything that you put into the torch, like a fancy torch. These are cheap. These are very cheap, because this is a nice big cavern. There's a cave up there, and I don't know how to get into that. There must be a way of getting there. I'm not sure. Maybe that's just to whetten our appetites. But there's a nice hole in this cavern. There's a nice hole there where light comes in and it illuminates the climb area, which is pretty fancy. And there's also a dead guy inside this. There's a dead guy inside this cabin over there. And this is the way. Okay, so this is like the long way back. If we'd gone through the water patchy, the little patch of water there, this is the long way back. I see our torches, because we've got a bit of a dud torch there. We just want to make another. We're trying to get another one. See if we can get a better one. Just make another fire. So every time you make a fire, especially in the beginning of the game, it adds to your fire making experience. And as soon as you hit 5, I think you get a as soon as you make a certain amount, you get a patch, and that you can use as a kind of a benefit when you start a new game. Okay, here we go. This was that little area that we had the problem. Now I'm going to go through here, and there's going to be no water trigger. Watch, no water trigger. It's a bit frustrating because I was certain that there was a permanent trigger inside there, but obviously there isn't. So the water triggers, it's like a random thing, a variable inside this cave. Best standard operating procedure is to take your shoes off and your socks, and don't get a wet issue, a cold issue on your feet. We are gonna pick up on the way back. We are gonna pick up at. Okay, we're just gonna have a look at the guy. These guys that are in the caves are very. It's a very sad thing. So this is a climb. We're climbing up here. You don't lose your torch altogether. You just lose the light for a little bit. I don't know where. I don't know how you'd be holding that torch. It's fire. I don't want to think about where it could be. It just doesn't sound comfortable at all. So we've gone up the little climbs, and now we're on the upper stage. We're closer to Timberwolf Mountain region, and there's just one more tricky. It's just one more tricky thing coming up. It's not that tricky. It's just something that's interesting. So this is quite a long mission up here. That is just a place where I would like you'll see them. Preferably it's not. Here we go. This is where we have it. Okay, so this is where we go out. You've got a crouch, and then you go out, and then when we come into the system from the mountain, from Timberwolf Mountain side, I've marked a dead end here. But the dead end is not necessarily a place where you never want to go into, because if you give it a little while, there's a very good chance that you might have coal respawning. Periodically have coal respawning in these dead ends, which is nice. So that's also so you know that's not the way through the cave, but there might be. You might want to investigate it periodically to find coal, and the coal we use mainly in the forges. Any of the forges, they like to use coal. I think you get about an hour every time you put in a piece of coal, and especially for the ammo forge, when you're making bullets, melting lead, you get an hour, and that'll give you 6 bullets for a little piece of lead that you get from the battery. So you can see I've been busy here on the mountain, Timberwolf Mountain side. Just picked up a couple of sticks there, and we'll just do the way back. So what happens is your hippocampus, part of your brain, that's where you save the map data. So every time you go through here, the little neurons are activated, and that's how you get to remember. The more you repeat something, the more familiar it becomes, as those little neurons are developed in your brain. Apparently, London taxi drivers have the largest developed hippocampus. It's been noticed. I doubt it if it's an issue anymore with GPS. Back in the day, those guys needed to memorize where everything is. For us that play the long dark, our hippocampuses are probably also a little bit more stimulated than generally noticeable among the population. So let's have a look here. This we can climb down. I'm going to do a climb. I usually scooch down just to show you. I'm going to do a climb down here. And then the next one, I'm going to do a scooch. So you just crouch and walk forward. And there you go. You're going to go down. There was no damage done there. It sounded painful, but I think we're fine. And then we're going to just look at that again, because it's fascinating. This is the left-hand side here. This is the long way around, and you get a good chance of picking up some water triggers. This is our shortcut. Marked it with a thing. Remember, you use all the stuff you can in these caves to make it easier to get through here. If you know what I mean. Okay, we're not going to spend any time here. This is straightforward. Looks
so
like
cold.
we triggered another. There was another water trigger there for some odd reason. But now we can put on our boots again. Can we? Yes. Okay. I wanted to show you what happens when you hit water with your footwear on. So here at the bottom of this thing, which I've never seen before, but apparently here there's also what? There's also a water trick. Like if you can hear it, you know that there's going to be trouble, right? So now we're trying to see where the water is. You can't see anything. You just hear it. You look at our boots and our socks. We've got a third on there. That's just one heat. That's one heat of the water. So like 3 heats and then you're done. And like then your things are totally waterlogged. So now we need to dry those. We need to dry that equipment out, because that will become a problem. It doesn't look like we had a hypothermia problem at all. Or did we? I'm imagining that. I can swear we had a hypothermia issue here. And then just make a little fire. We're just saving our fire. We don't know what the conditions are like outside. Might be overcast. So we just want to save our fire. Just rejuvenate. That thing's not ready. And that's it, guys. I'm just gonna now do like the whole thing of drying out my boots, and you know how that works. If you're new in the game, just to give you an idea of how to dry out your kit, which is something that is part of the game that's neglected earlier on in the game, because you don't realize that it's a serious issue. Just take everything off. Obviously, just taking it off doesn't do the job. You need to drop it. So you can drop it from that first menu. I was just being a little bit hasty there. Okay, so now you can. These things will dry out. You can boil some water, cook some meat, and then you should be take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so, and this stuff will be all dry. Thanks for watching. Please don't think about subscribing, and before I say that, at the end of the video there's a playlist with all of the Blackrock stuff. The whole series of Blackrock things that's worth finding. And so Arrivederci, and go and think about subscribing.
Just eat a goo.